Zap, 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 lightning, zap, zap, lightning, lightning, fade.
Hello everybody, it's me, the LEGO Dude, and in today's video I'll be making my predictions for the unknown Summer 2024 LEGO Star Wars sets. We have several set numbers for Summer 2024 which I'll attempt to predict correctly. By the time we get leaks for these sets, I'll revisit this video to see how many I got right. First up, we have the 40675 Brickheads pack releasing on June 1st for $55, which I think will be the Bad Batch. With the $55 Brickheads pack, I would expect LEGO to put in 5 full-size Brickheads plus the small one, which would match with the Bad Batch. There could be a full-size Brickheads of Echo, Crosshair, Hunter, Tech, and Wrecker, and a miniature Brickheads of Omega. Slight spoiler for the Bad Batch TV series, so skip ahead if you haven't seen it yet. At the beginning of the series, Crosshair joined the Imperials. I would expect LEGO to include him anyway with his Imperial armor, but they might just cheap out and give us 4 full-size Brickheads and 1 miniature Brickheads for $55, which would be very overpriced. Next, we have the 40676 Brickheads also releasing on June 1st for $10, which I think will be Grand Admiral Thrawn. It makes logical sense with the recent Ahsoka show, and I doubt that LEGO would miss the opportunity to cash in on him showing up there. Next up, we have the May 4th promo, which I hope will be Dex's Diner, but I predict will be the Carbon Freezing Chamber with the Han Solo minifigure and a Han Solo frozen in carbonite. My reasoning for this is that the last 2 May 4th promos were based off A New Hope and Return of the Jedi respectively, meaning it's quite likely that they're going to release a promotional set based off The Empire Strikes Back to have a promo released for each movie from the original trilogy. Although I would prefer Dex's Diner, this would also be an awesome promotional set to get and I would be perfectly happy with it. Moving on to the August 1st sets now, first up we have the 75388 for $40, which I think will be an AAT based off the Phantom Menace. The January AAT polybag is evidence that we'll get a full-scaled version later in the year, since the polybag is almost always a smaller version of a full-scaled set released in the same year. And since the AAT is based off the Phantom Menace, that would explain why this AAT would also be based off the Phantom Menace. The $40 price tag is about right for the size of an AAT, so it seems likely that this will be the AAT. Next up we have the 75380 for $170, which I predict will be a Trade Federation ship. LEGO have shown signs of leaning more specifically into the Phantom Menace this year, most likely because it's the 25th anniversary of the Phantom Menace, which aligns with the 25th anniversary of LEGO Star Wars. This makes this year the perfect opportunity to finally get the Trade Federation ship, which is one of the only iconic Star Wars ships to not have a full-scale LEGO set yet. So minifigures which I think will be included are Nute Gunray, Qui-Gon Jinn, and Padawan Obi-Wan Kenobi. Next up we have the 75394 for $80, which I predict will be a diorama of Darth Vader and Obi-Wan's duel from A New Hope. This is quite an iconic scene which sooner or later would most likely be made in some form, and with the diorama line of sets being used to recreate several iconic scenes already, it's quite logical to think that they would release the Darth Vader vs Obi-Wan duel from A New Hope soon, most likely in diorama form. Next up we have the 75396 for $90, which I predict will be a droid MTT. Like I said earlier, LEGO have been leaning more into the Phantom Menace for 2024 after several years without any sets from that movie, so getting a new MTT is definitely on the cards. Like a bunch of other recent sets, it'll have a higher price than past versions, but will most likely be a smaller build. I would expect it to have a ton of V1 battle droids like the last version and maybe 2 or 3 Gungan warriors as well. Finally, the last set number we have is the 75398 for $150, which I predict will be the Radiant 7. The Radiant 7 was Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon's ship from the Phantom Menace. I was originally predicting this to be a Republic cruiser, but after several comments suggesting this set, it makes a lot more sense. They're both similar, meaning a rumor or leak could have confused the two, and since it looks like LEGO are leaning heavily into the Phantom Menace for 2024, it makes a lot more sense that they would release this instead of the Republic cruiser. Minifigures I predict could be included are Obi-Wan Kenobi and Qui-Gon Jinn. Moving on to some other random sets I think we might get next year, I predict that we might get another Skeleton Crew set and maybe another set based off Ahsoka. Possibly the weird Force Portal Pathway thing, which you can see up on the screen right now, which I forgot the actual name of. For 25th anniversary minifigures included in the set in 2024, I predict that we'll get an ARC Trooper Echo, Darth Revan, Crosshair in his original Bad Batch armor, and Clone Commando Gregor. If at least a quarter of these predictions come true, I'd be extremely happy, and if even more than that actually happen, I think 2024 will have definitely earned its spot on top 5 years of LEGO Star Wars ever. Alright everyone, that is everything for today's video. Tell me your thoughts about these 2024 predictions in the comment section down below. How many do you think will actually happen? Which of these sets do you want the most in LEGO form? Which of the 25th anniversary minifigures predictions do you think might actually happen as well? And one last thing before you leave, please remember to hit the subscribe button, ring the notifications bell, and leave a like on the video. Bye!